Welcome back to the Dospod Minis. It's your host, C to the M to the A to the C to the D to the O to the N to the A to the L to the D. And I'm joined by my co-host of the Dospod Minis, Daniel Allen, D to the A to the L to the L to the E to the N.
I knew you were going to do it. It's still funny.
It really tested my spelling ability. Daniel-son, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Really good. It's been an exciting week and it's not finished yet. We've got an exciting day ahead of us. So, yeah, spirits are very high.
Yeah, so when we did the Dospod a couple of weeks ago, it was off the back of doing the Dospod literally 5 days earlier. And I was a bit Dospoded out. I didn't have many more tidbits. We went the emotional route on Ep 1 where I was sort of, like I learnt in English class, I was appealing to the hip pocket nerve. we went down the route of the Patreon and the struggle of YouTube. And then when we got onto the second ep, I was just a bit sort of, I don't know, potted out, I guess. But I'm back and I'm keen.
Yeah, very, very different energy this week. We kind of wrapped up the pod last week. And you're just a bit flat. Like, I don't feel like you didn't feel like you brought much to the table. I thought it was all right. Maybe I'm a bit more airy-fairy than you, and I was just happy to sit down and chat. But I listened back. I thought it was okay.
I want to make every post a winner. And I don't think that's what – I think I got to reframe my brain with, like, potties. Like, some potties you're going to chuck out there, and for the – guy who's driving trucks or Larvo who just wants 40 minutes to pass the time.
How many truck drivers do you reckon we have listening? Let's be completely honest.
Well, if they're out there, subscribe to the Patreon, but also, hit us up. Yeah, like if to them, oh great, got a pod to waste 40 minutes. But in my head, I'm like, is this defining the podcast game? And so podcast, I need to reframe my attitude. And then I also think I need to reframe my attitude on short form, which I've done a little bit. I'm gone with volume over standard. and that's like the barrier to entry for me to want to create a short form clip is a lot lower than what it has been, which means I can get more out. And I've been reaching the people this week.
Yeah, well, I think you've just been posting what you want to talk about and you have a lot of opinions, especially footy-related opinions, and the reception's been good. Look, there's people out there that are going to make the high-production, short-form content.
Which I was having a dip at for a while.
We're in the long-form game now, and maybe they just want to hear Caden's opinion on things that are happening in the world.
Which is ludicrous, because why the fuck would you... Yeah, anyway, that's another sort of thought for another day.
Subscribe to the Patreon.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in for 40 minutes of this when the host kicks off early and goes, why the fuck would you listen? No, but that is a thought, a sort of intrusive thought that comes into my brain sometimes is, why? Anyway, I know that I have peculiar observations at times, and that's what I'm really trying to tap into with the short form stuff. It's like, do I have an angle? Do I have a little take, a little tidbit that I find sort of somewhat humorous and lighthearted, and that's what I'm going after. So it's been good. I've actually enjoyed the process of freeing myself up and just putting stuff out.
Yeah, well, I think I can touch on one. The reel you made the other day about it was yesterday, I think it was, the Bombers jersey, the Anzac Day jersey. I went on the team store to buy one.
Really?
Obviously, it's a bit soon. But yeah, your reel made me want to buy one. I haven't bought a football jersey since I was probably in primary school, but I wanted to buy one. Can't buy one on the team store, but why would you announce something and then not have it
so they're not even in stock yet?
I don't think so, unless I didn't see them. But no, I couldn't see it.
So we spoke, I think Ep 1, you declared that you're a Bombers man. Where does that kit rank? Looks pretty fucking
It's
sick.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just different. I thought it was really cool. Will I ever wear it? No. Will you ever see me at a game in it? Probably not. But I was going to buy it.
How funny is that in the Constitution you need a sash
Yeah.
in every kit? So secretly with the outline of the plane you can see the red sash is still there. It's like just bin it off. Imagine if you had like that traditional 90s bomber just in the middle of your kit and it was like a stealthy red kit and you just binned the sash off. Could you technically expand the sash so much that it's red, 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 and then like a black strip at the back, and then you can chuck like a bomber at the front. And technically, it's just the fattest sash of all time, which ticks the box of the Constitution. But really, it's just an all red kit.
Well, we can just leave it at this. With how Essendon's been travelling in my lifetime, I think the Constitution probably needs some reworking anyway. So I wouldn't listen to the Essendon Constitution too much if I'm completely honest with you.
Oh, I just can't believe some blokes just go, I reckon all our kits need a sash. And in 2026, they're going, oh, we can't redesign and rebrand ourselves because of that.
Yeah, but don the sash. So
I've got a funny Don the Sash story for you.
here we go.
You'll love this. Sort of areas we don't normally go into. But when I was a pisshead back in the day in Geelong with the boys.
Yep.
Many moons ago, as we know. We were watching a game of footy and Essendon were really, really bad and Geelong were really good. I think it might have been last versus first, potentially.
Okay.
This would have been around 2017-ish.
Yeah, good times.
And it was a Saturday twilight game. And the joke all week from all our Geelong mates, because we had one of our mates, Middleborough, loves the Bombers, but everyone else pretty much in our friendship group goes for Geelong. And the joke all week was, oh, we're going to do it by 10 goals. We're going to flog them by 10 goals. And on this particular day, we went over and we're having pre-drinks on a Saturday afternoon, and the Bombers just flogged them. I think the Bombers, who I reckon they were close to last on the ladder, first thing first, it was ridiculous. I reckon they won by like 6 goals, took the piss. It was an unbelievable performance. And we were just hammered. And we said, all right, before we go out to town, we're going to don the sash. We're going to don the sash. So we all got our tops off and we got permanent marker and we just drew red sashes on our bellies.
That is insane.
And then we put a number of our favourite player from the day. And I can't remember. There was cult figures. I reckon David Myers had a banging game. Maybe it was early Guelphy. That seems too recent. I can't remember. But there was a couple of cult figures that had awesome games. So we donned the sash. Anyway, I had like this massive night out. And I sort of forgot that we had donned the sash earlier in the night. And I woke up the next morning and I frightened myself in the bathroom as I woke up. Because I go to the bathroom and I go, what the fuck is all that on my stomach? And I went, oh yeah, we donned the sash last night. And that's like a bit of a joke between us and the boys. Many moons ago, we donned the sash.
Well, I'll give it to you. I've just looked it up. 110-93.
Yep.
I think this is the right game.
What year?
I think this is 2017. May 13, 2017. Merritt, 33 disposals. Joe Danaher, 5 goals.
Out of his skin.
And Heppel, 17 contested possessions. They're the key stats it's given me. But, yeah, that's a good game. Joe Danaher, Zach Merritt, Dyson Heppel. What could have been? That's just a great trio there if they were firing and wanted to play football together.
I'm looking for the Don the Sash image. It's somewhere. I'm deep in my archives. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going
to post it anywhere. And this isn't even filmed.
Because it's me with my top off and I've got an Essendon sash, permanent marker on my chest, and I reckon I've got bloody Nick Comer on my back or something.
Great story.
Yeah.
It is a great story though.
But yeah, so, and you know, in the Constitution, we had the sash.
So you went by the Constitution.
Yeah.
First Amendment. I don't know. That's not it. All right. So moving on. What have we done this week?
Good week, really good week. Feeling a bit of momentum, momentum shifting. We got season predictions out, which I edited on a laptop that you have let me borrow. So I don't want to be ungrateful, but
be ungrateful.
The caliber of the laptop it's better than no laptop, but you know what? It's the David Hale of laptops. It's just sort of up and back, just sort of head in the trough. And it just grinds.
Yeah, it works hard, doesn't get much.
It puffs. I think the laptop actually puffs.
When I used to use it for uni, I reckon there was times when I had to do this 3D animation for and I think the thing almost took off. Like genuinely, the fans were working so hard. There was, when you were pressing on the keyboard, it felt like there was a bit of resistance because it was going back down towards the desk. The thing was levitating. Those fans work in overdrive.
Well, it was funny the other night I was exporting probably the Jammo pod.
Yep.
Which we use 4K footage for. So when it's like 4K and then it's layered on top of each other because I have the split screen, and then I pump it out. I only export it at 1080, but it sort of has to sit for 40, maybe even longer, maybe like an hour to export. And my partner, Georgia, came through and she goes, I think your aircon's on in the next room. Like, I think something's making like a noise. And I'm like, oh, no, it's the laptop. It's just churning away.
It was like The Exorcist. It was floating in the middle of the room because the fans had propelled it to the ceiling. Yeah, it's not great.
But it's better than no laptop, so I really appreciate you letting me borrow it. And so on that this week, I did AFL season predictions. I made a mistake in it. I left the Brownlow graphic up during the Rising Star part, and that's literally because there were so many layers and it was sort of freezing and stopping and starting, and I copied and pasted that across to then change it to Rising Star. So it was up the top Rising Star, and then I just left it by accident. But that's the beauty of a YouTuber. It's not perfect. But I got that done this week, and I think I've done that for like maybe 7 years in a row, AFL season predictions this time of year. And it's a similar format every year. And that sort of feels like the season's kicking off. So it was good to get that one away. Great reception. We're trying to claw the YouTube numbers back. We've spoken candidly on this pod about making the YouTube great again. And that feels, we've tinkered and tried a couple of things, but that felt like, I don't know, that the views to me were, and it's always a big video, the season predictions, but that felt like they're back where they should and could be, and it's just about following this one up, which we're trying to.
Yeah, and for the audience members thinking, if Caden's editing the laptops on a school notebook and he's got his editor and videographer on the podcast, what is that guy actually doing? No, he's doing the smaller videos and I'm helping with the bigger productions, but it was a win, I think. It's just about getting the momentum back. And when we say the views were traveling, it's always in perspective. Like, it's for what the channel should be performing and our channel, a football channel, should be getting. So don't expect us to be like, oh, the views are good and you click on it and it's 200,000 views, 500,000 views. We just, for the demographic that we're working in, we just want to be tracking along how it should be. And this video, the season predictions has shown that there's still an interest and there's still that audience there. And we're just going to continue with the momentum. And this week, we're hoping that we're working on a couple of projects that will carry that momentum right into the start of football season.
100%. And like the channel stagnated for a little bit there. I think I stagnated from a creative standpoint. Like, I sort of rinsed and repeat year on year what worked previously to a point where it stopped working. Just because when you lose the sparkle in your eye and you're doing your 50th tier maker and you're not quite as excited as what you were when you started, I think the audience can pick up on that. So tried to shift away from that the last couple of years. Tried things like the Div 12 Rezzies and then went all in on that, probably more all in than what I expected to. And then got to the end of last year, and we touched a little bit of this in the first Dospods mini, but got to the end of last year and just went far out. I don't know what my next move is. Like, I want to get back to the YouTube content that I was sort of making in 2019 in terms of the category. So, like, I loved the category of goal kicking challenge, which was prominent back then. I love the category of podcast. I love the category of like adventure, sort of storytelling vlog. So I wanted to get back to those genres, but now that we're working together, I can delegate and we can take them to another level, and they'll start to look, hopefully in the next sort of 6 months, if not already, the channel should start to look like the industry standard. In terms of like, if you tune into Chris MD, now he's got a team of 8 or 10, and then you tune into mine, from a high definition and graphic standpoint and editing and almost content as well. Like, I want to get, the banter and the camaraderie. It should look in the ballpark at least in the same league, maybe slightly below. Maybe we're sort of a 16th place team, but we're in the AFL. That's what I want to get to eventually. So right now, between me and Dan, it's like I've sort of fallen in love with editing again, because I'm editing sort of the smaller stuff. It can be a bit mundane, but to cut costs and whatnot, it's like I'm back on the saddle, editing a little bit, and then Dan's chipping away at some big ones. We got a couple of big ones coming, and that's what's exciting. So we were in at Channel 7 the other day. They had a big media day and they invited some content creators down. Now, I've sort of gone to media days before and done Vox Pops, and I just went far out. I don't want to do like the Vox Pops again. They're good for the short form, but I want to land like a YouTube video. So I went back and forth with Channel 7 and they were pumped. They were like, yeah, smash out a YouTube video, mate. So we had a little room and we did AFL Guess Who, which I think will be out after this pod.
Just after it.
Or just before, depending on sort of when we get told to post it. But I played AFL Guess Who. And on the YouTube channel, I've done that before, where like someone thinks of a player and we have a certain amount of questions. But this one, with the Channel 7 commentary experts, I literally played Guess Who, where we had the Guess Who board and we had the cards and we played it, which that was the angle that you wanted to take the video in, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought like it was a cool concept. It's something that's been done on YouTube before. I openly said that I model what I'm trying to build off the UK scene, and that being it's such a, like everyone's in it together, it feels over there, and they're all producing high quality content. And some of the boys over there have done Guess Who videos.
So the one that we were looking at was a bit of Beta Squad?
Yeah. And then we just try to put a twist on it where you've actually gone into a space and played that game with people who aren't YouTubers and they're in the media, and obviously making it sports related and doing AFL related questions was our twist on it. But, you know, it's not something trailblazing and whatnot, but we put our own spin on it. And I thought it was a cool, fun concept. The Channel 7 team and all the media there seemed to enjoy it, which was really important, I think. If you're going to get them to sit down for an extended amount of time with you, them leaving with a smile on their face, I think is really important. And then you kind of felt throughout the building that everyone that came next was more and more excited to join in because they'd heard that you were the worst Guess Who performer of all time, but also that it was a fun little thing to sit down and do. And I think so far just started chipping away at the edit, but that you can see that in the video. So it's really exciting, yeah.
Yeah, geez. So we had a number of issues, and this happens on every shoot. This happens on every event, really. Since I was working in Kiss FM, I used to work on the Kiss FM street team, and we'd get sent out to events with the wrong equipment and the wrong address and the wrong time, and you just have to work on the fly. And working on a street team and not having the flags and the spinny wheel, and you got to go out and invent a game to help give away prizes and whatnot, like just thinking on your feet and problem solving has set me up so well for YouTube, because you know, ever since starting YouTube, I'll go down with my cameras and my mics and the mic doesn't quite work, or the camera shuts off, or we need to innovate and use a phone for the last just things go wrong on every shoot. It's just crazy. And even being 10 years in and understanding you got to be organized and be, you know, we're going down to 7 and working with Channel 7 experts. So, and it's 2 of us, like we're dividing and conquering. There was still things that went wrong that was hilarious, even before I get to the point of me fucking up the game. But little things that went wrong was with Guess Who, if you open a Guess Who box, you have the cards that slot into like the board game where you can flick the cards up and down. So they're a certain size where they slot into that. They're a little bit smaller. And then there's bigger cards, and it's a copied and paste of what's on the board. And that's how you pick out the person that the opponent has to try and guess. So we had 2 different sizes, and I was running out of time on Monday night before we went down to 7 the next day. So I thought, well, it's going to take me an hour to cut these cards out. Like I think there was 4 A4 pieces of paper, 12-ish people on each piece of paper.
24.
Yeah, 24. Yeah. So to cut it out properly, it just would have taken ages. And then if you double that to get the cards for people to pick the people out, it just would have taken ages. So I just cut out one set and one size, and I thought I cut the size out that slots into the board game. And then I thought, I don't know, they can just pick at the board and or pick at the photos and choose this is really hard to describe. I like to describe with visuals, and it's an audio medium. Anyway, there was 2 different sets of cards that I had to cut out. I cut out one set thinking that would be the one that slots into the game. We get down to Channel 7. We got 45 minutes to set up. BT's roaming around, Richo's roaming around, Joe Watson's roaming around. Like, we were there an hour and a half early, so we were set up in time. But they were already there sort of asking like, oh, what are you guys doing? Anyway, I go to put the cards into the game and they wouldn't fit. And I'm going, fucking hell, like they're way too big. That means I have to go through and cut them all again to make them fit. And you go, I turned to Dan going, they're not fitting. Like, we can't even get it in the board game. And Dan goes, oh yeah, they're the bigger ones to which you pick, which helps you choose the player that you've got to guess. You need to cut out the small ones, which are sitting there to the left. And I went far out. We've got 40 minutes till we're meant to be playing. And I don't even have the cards that enable us to play the game in the board. And I'm like, and it took me like an hour to cut out these ones that we don't actually really need. And so...
Mate, he almost capitulated.
I'm sitting there going, I'm a long way away from these cards being cut out. BT and that are like sort of half, like there's people in the room half going, you guys almost ready soon? And we're 40 minutes before we were intended to be there. So we're actually like way earlier. But it was one where it's like, fuck, if it had been set up now, we could have almost grabbed these people roaming around who were early and just got ahead of it. And I turned it down and I go, what do I do? And you go, you have to cut them out. Like, you need to cut them out in 20 minutes and slot them in.
And the look on your, we almost packed up and left at that stage.
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted that we rocked up. So I'd made the cards on Canva, sent them out to Dossie and said, can you just run past Office Works, print these out, cut them out. And we rock up and he's cut half of them. I'm like, Dossie.
Yeah.
These are the wrong ones. The look in his eyes was like he'd just been shot. He can't BT, Richo roaming around making jokes. Caden sitting in the corner of the room with a pair of scissors cutting out, like doing arts and crafts. I'm like, this is his big moment with all these big dogs in the industry and he's there playing with scissors and paper, making origami was what it looked like. But it all worked out.
But do you understand my thought process of it's the night before, it's late, I've got like 8 A4 pieces of paper. I only literally, like if I had to cut out any, I only need the ones that go into the game so then we can play. Because then if there was just this flat sheet with all the ones that they had to guess from, they could pick one and sort of have it in their head. So in my head, I'm like, I've got to get to bed. The boys are coming at 7 a.m. We're getting there early and setting up. If I had to choose, I'm just going to pick the ones that slot into the board game. So at least we're, and then I thought if we get to Channel 7 a little bit earlier, I can roughly cut these other ones out, but not cut the edges or anything because that doesn't really matter. And then we're away. So I was like, last minute, I just go clip, 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 and we've got the cards for them to guess with, but at least the board's set up. So when we got there and I'd actually done the opposite and the cards to guess from were sitting there perfect, and the board wasn't ready, I was like, fuck me, this is not good.
Yeah. Oh, it all worked out. It worked out for the better, actually. We had both the cards to pick from.
Yeah. So in the end,
it was all fine. So it was good. It's fine. But yeah, apart from that, very good video. There was a couple speed humps in the filming of it all. But
yeah, so essentially, because I did some work with Channel 7 12 months earlier. So I had a little bit of rapport with the people who were there. Like I did 3 weeks where I essentially did all their lighthearted, colourful content for broadcast and socials. And I was just locked in a room for 3 months with 250 footballers that came through. I think I did like 5 bits of content each. So I did over 1,000 pieces of content in 3 weeks for Channel 7. And that's, I think people might have seen bits and pieces on my Instagram across the last sort of 12 months. So I had rapport and knew like a lot of the girls there that had worked. And they came through after like an hour and a half and said, did you get everything? Because the room that we're in was getting used for something else. And I went, it's good, but it's not great. Like I would have, like the power of the edit, we can leave now and we'll turn it into something. And I think it'd be a good video. Guess Who versus AFL Experts. It definitely still would have been that title. But it didn't. Like, I take a couple of games to get into the flow, and I'm a little bit quiet early, but later in the filming piece, I found myself a little bit, found my confidence. So I was sort of looking at you going, well, we're already set up. We're already at 7. They're about to cut for lunch, and all the talent have a break because they have a full day of media and photo shoots, and they learn. They have like meetings about legal. Like it's almost their orientation day for all the 7 staff. And I look at you and I go, if we leave now, it's probably good, but I'd love, one more. I've found my feet. We could make it great. And 7 were so accommodating. They're like, yeah, sweet. So we moved into another room, less aesthetically pleasing, the next room we went to.
The broom closet.
But what's hilarious is the first one looked great, but I wasn't in my flow. I was a little bit quiet, wasn't quite confident. So the first one looked amazing. Content wasn't that great. The second location looked horrific and the content was elite. So the people that rolled through at the second location were just so into it. Like Hamish McLaughlin he's the best media performer in Australia, but he was addicted to the game. Hodgie was addicted to the game. Kane Corns rolled through. I don't mind giving it away because not many people listen to the Dospods, and more people will see the video anyway. And this is just giving them, the Dospod listeners, a little inside scoop. But I kept fucking the game up.
Oh, horribly. And you wait till you hear his excuse as to why he was fucking the game up. To me, I think it's inexcusable. But throughout the day, he'd convince himself that it was a reasonable excuse, and then people started agreeing with him. It's Guess Who. It's a game. I think it says like 4+ on the box.
Yeah.
So you explain it to them.
Well, that's what Rog was saying. I told Rog, and Rog goes, mate, the game for 4-year-olds, you couldn't wrap your head around.
Yeah.
So Guess Who naturally is easy because it's just about the physical features on the card, and there's not really much to think of. So it's like, does he have a mustache? No, my guy. No, I'm actually. No. I've actually.
I actually saw his you could see Caden now.
I don't know the rules. I don't know how to play.
So I'll explain it from my point of view.
Which one do I put down? Does he have a mustache?
Yes, it would be. Does my player play in Victoria? They would say, no, your player doesn't play in Victoria. Meaning you would leave all the people up who play outside of Victoria, and you would put all the people down who do play in Victoria.
Yes.
Somehow Caden would be like, does my player play in Victoria? They would be like, no, your player doesn't play in Victoria. And the language being used would confuse him, and he'd be like, all right, I'm going to put down all the people who know they do not play in Victoria.
Oh my God. I actually can't even wrap my head around it now. You're explaining it to me. So I would play and I'd be like, do they play in Victoria? If they said yes, I got it. Like I understood. I was like, yes, they play in Victoria. Sweet. I'd take down the interstate players. But if I said, do they play in Victoria? And they said no, I was so confused as to who to put down. Because I'm like, no, they do not play in Victoria. So I was like, do I put the interstate players down? It was
almost like if it was a no, if they answered with a no, he almost forgot that they used the no, and all he would hear is no, do not play in Victoria. Okay, the ones that do not play in Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. I would hear no. Yes. So that would fuck me. So it was almost like this double negative of like, no, they do not. No, they do not.
So
do you get that?
No, I don't. I didn't get it all day. And the problem was the angle I was filming from, I was on the side shooting across the guests, and I was shooting Caden. So I couldn't see Caden's board from where I was. And I was starting to get anxiety that every question they answered, if he put more than like 5 pieces down, I was just standing in the corner like, he's fucked it. I just know because he had this look of not complete
Oh,
confidence.
the pressure.
And then when it got to one person each and Caden's having his guess, it was a shot. It was basically, he could have had all the pieces up and he would have had a better chance of going 1 in 24 having a guess, because I was like, I can guarantee you he doesn't have it in front of him right now.
So many times I get down to the last one and I'm like, oh, do you have Dusty Martin? They're like, no. And I'm like, how the fuck have I got one person left and it's not the person that I need? In my defense, a couple of them were, so like one of them was with Abby Holmes and I said premiership player and she goes, no. Fuck, who do I put down there? I'm just trying to think. So I kept all the premiership players up.
Yep.
And one of them that I kept up was Isaac Heaney. Now, when she was flicking all of hers down, she actually phoned a friend and said, is he a premiership player, to one person. And that was the person that I ended up getting the mistake on. So she needed help for it and she realised that he wasn't a premiership player, so she flicks him down, whatever. Anyway, I get to the end and I go, is your player Isaac Heaney? She goes, no. And that's because I thought Isaac Heaney was a premiership player just because they won one in 2012 and then they've been in 4 grand finals since, or whatever the stat is. So I just assumed, like I associate Isaac Heaney with grand final days. So for some reason I just thought he was. So that was like a genuine football error. But that wouldn't happen in a normal Guess Who game.
That's fine. I think that's like the fun of that guess, like a Guess Who that's a bit more.
Yeah, I
footy
think that
knowledge.
is good because it's like, it's about your footy knowledge and like I made a genuine blue. So I think that that's good for the game. Like if you're playing footy Guess Who, that's like a genuine good one. There was other ones I made where like, because on, like it's a field of 24 people. Like if I say, are they a current player? You might just flick them all down and then you forget like a Dusty or a Rancy because it's a really crystal clear, like up-to-date photo of them. And they just look like current players because they're in their full, like Fifey. Fifey's on, are they a current player? And you sort of leave Fifey up. So you could make mistakes in the game, but I just kept making genuine mistakes of not knowing the rules. And then I'd leave people in because I didn't answer my question the right way. And then there was another reason, I fucked another one up.
That's all right. There was a lot of mistakes made and you'll see it in the edit, but Kane Corns did fuck his up as well. So.
Yeah, so after I'd butchered sort of 3 of the last 4 games, and we had a minder from Channel 7 who was in the room with us. She loved it. Like I was thinking, man, this Channel 7 associate who's like helping us get talent and like listening in to make sure we don't say anything bad, as if she's not walking away going, we're never working with him again. Like he's so unprofessional. But she was, every time I stuffed up, she's like, this is the best. And I'm like, I don't have a YouTube video yet. Like we haven't completed a game of Guess Who. But yeah, I'd butchered 3 of the last 4 games. Kane Corns comes in. And one of the questions I asked is,
are they a key
current
position player, I reckon? Or, actually.
No, I said current. I said current. And he said, yes. Anyway, he ended up having Dustin Martin, but he had done what I'd done. Like the thing that muddled me up about the double negative, he had actually done. So he goes, yeah, he's a current player or whatever. So I get down to Dustin Martin and he had actually, like Kane had actually messed me up because we went to the replay. So it was just funny. It was like 3 of the last 4 I've fucked up and now it's 4 of the last 5. And I'm like, there's no way. I was so concentrating to not make a mistake. And Kane was pissing himself. He's like, you don't know your own rules. And he walks out like laughing. And we go back to the replay and it was him that made the error. So that made me feel a little bit better.
Made you feel better, but in Kane's
mind,
you made it because you were so certain you didn't make the mistake, but because you'd made so many mistakes already, you just looked at Kane like, yeah, it must have been me.
Yeah, I'm
mate.
like, oh, it must have been me. Like I've fucked like the
and
last
Kane's
5.
laughing at you. All the Channel 7 team's laughing at you, but that one actually wasn't on you. But you'd lost so much confidence in your ability to play a kid's game that you just accepted that, yeah, that was probably on me as well. So that was really fun. It was, as I said, I think we're lucky we hung around for the end. I think, the talent we got were probably more into it. I think that was probably partly as well because they broke off for lunch. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but they talked about it. And a few of them been like, that was pretty fun. And then they knew that they were going to do it later because the last few blokes that came in, Kane, Hamish, and Hodgie.
Hodgie was addicted.
They were into it. They gave us everything. So
Hodgie was playing mind games. Like he was like tactically answering and giving me like little hints in the answer, but purposely taking me off the beaten track. So he'd be like, is he a premiership? And like just trying to mess me up.
The good one was when you were like, has he won a major award? He's like, yeah, he's won a Coleman. He could have won 2, and he knew he'd only won 1.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, he could have won 2 Colemans. So you put BT down, I think, because BT had only
won 1.
And you're like, oh, well, BT hasn't won 2, so I'll put him down. And then you're like, oh, is it this? And he's like, no. He's like, oh, who was it? BT. And you're like, oh, but he said he won 2. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I said he could have won 2. And you're
Because
like,
when he said he could have won 2, I went, great, it's either Fife or Gary Ablett Jr. So I just put down BT. Like retired player, could have won 2 accolades, but it was Hodgie putting me off. So that was good craft.
yeah, no, it was good fun. Really good video. So hopefully that gets a reception, or at least the people that watch it enjoy it as much as we enjoyed filming it.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I don't know, like it's like, you know, I don't want to be views driven, but I do want to make the channel great again. And off the back of season predictions, it's like your next follow up should have a little bit of momentum behind it. So I'm just hoping, you know, good thumbnail, we nail the edit. I'm not editing, so, you know, in the comments, get around Dan for the effort.
And if it's horrible, just
it won't be horrible.
Don't comment. No, it'll be good. But best in the business, man.
Let's see how many podcasters, you know, how many Dospods go straight to the video and listen. We should give them something to say. Dan's edit is a real crowd pleaser.
No, don't say, because I don't want that. I just don't want that to be commented. Just say,
Dan the man has done it again.
Just say Dos can't play a game for 4-year-olds. Any comments about Dos's inability to play a game for 4-year-olds?
Hashtag washed.
Hashtag washed. Hashtag washed. If you're listening to the pod, go on the Guess Who video.
And just write a comment and then just go hashtag washed.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that might hurt my feelings. Nah, do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah. Just do it.
And then we'll know that you listened.
Good time to talk about people listening, people that are getting involved.
People invested.
Patreon. Update us.
Patreon update. Well, you know, once again, the budget is for all these videos are coming out of my sort of own account, which as a business owner, you got to do. You got to invest in yourself. But I need a chop out. I need a little chop out, and I don't like asking for support. But industry advice has been rally the audience. Like if you've been giving your audience free content for 10 years, let's rally them, get a little bit of support, and you can then add that into the budget of your videos and take the videos to another level. And that's ultimately our goal. So check the Patreon. Now, I haven't really plugged it. We really got to start getting it in these videos. We got to start getting it on the video podcast. I haven't really been plugging it. So me and Dan are going to start firing that up soon. But I went on the other day and I saw that we've got one. We have $11 a month coming in.
Come on. So what tier is that?
I think that's the middle tier.
Whoa.
It might be the biggest one. I actually don't want to get that wrong because if old mates, and we'll name him soon, but if old mates,
leading by example.
But if he's gone the Hall of Fame and I've just sort of potted him for, all right, what one is it?
Talk to me.
One paid member. Man, I'm so bad at Patreon, I can't even see. Memberships.
I assume this is going to be cut out.
No.
Just fill it.
No, he's got the highest one.
The highest one.
He's got the highest
Hall
one.
of Fame. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh.
He's got the highest one. And he's named. Now, I'm going to name him. We need to name him. I think everyone who signs up to Patreon gets named on this pod.
He's a trail. He's the first.
At least to start.
He's the first.
We'll make this a thing. Everyone who signs up to the Patreon will get a shout out on the Dospod minis for as long as we can.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Well, the first one is Northy. Now, there is an AFL content creator called Northy.
Oh.
So I wonder if it's him supporting the cause, but that's fucking unbelievable.
If he has his own Patreon, do you then, if it is Northy, would you have to then subscribe to his Patreon? And it just count as the money that's being spent?
Yeah, but it's like a month delay, so like he gets the money for the month.
Tennis.
I get the money for
Just return serve. Well, Northy, thank you.
Northy, are you serious, Northy? Like what a man.
Leading by example. Guys, be like Northy. If you can afford to, be like Northy.
Well, he's our North Star, as you said before. Far out. What a man.
Or woman. We don't know.
100%.
See?
100%. But if it is the creator that I'm thinking of,
It's definitely a man.
very manly. So, yeah, unbelievable. We're really going to start plugging the Patreon. And the reason we're getting the Patreon is to invest in these videos. I think, you might have seen the filming and the editing of the season predictions and gone, well, they've trended backwards. But that's because that was me with my Canon and a Dream down filming with Dill Danoon and Connor Rogers just for that video. But most other videos, you should see a significant shift in the standard and the quality. And that's all off the back of Northey and Northey alone. Literally, Northey is the reason that we're going to see in the next couple of weeks a quality shift.
Yep. What a man. What a man, what a player. Love the game. Love the process.
Do you reckon Northey will be down at the to wrap up the Dospod mini, because we're nearly
Which we
there.
have to wrap up because we have a shoot coming up very quickly.
But we've got 5 minutes left here. Today, this is the next video that's coming in a handful of weeks. I'm commentating the D's and North Melbourne game for my YouTube channel. I'm getting match footage in my YouTube video. So I guess the reason this has started is because by 40, I want to be a commentator. I love commentating AFL in terms of I sort of commentate everything. Like I just walk around the house. Dossie weaves through the kitchen.
That's concerning.
Has a slot at the bin.
That's called talking to yourself.
Yeah, I'm special comments and the caller. Tilly goes to her kitty litter and she scored. Sorry, Northey. This is not what you've invested
This
in.
is not what you're paying for.
Sorry, Northey.
Yeah, so what are we doing today?
Well, so essentially by 40, I want to be a commentator of any capacity. That doesn't mean Fox or 7. That means I could just be at some sort of dodgy online...
Lawn bowls?
Yeah, I just want to commentate. So that's the catalyst of this video is Cados wants to commentate. How do you become an AFL commentator? So in this video, it's me giving it a crack. I've got an expert special comments person who's going to be in with me. I've got some boundary riders and we're going to call the D's and North. It's not going to go anywhere. Like it's not live, but we'll package that up. We're sort of leaning towards Max Fosh-ish.
Well, yeah, it was... We kind of on the fly, we're trying to figure out how we're going to put this video together. And it took us a little bit of time to figure out where we were going to do this commentating gig. And then Melbourne gave you the call and we landed it. We were pretty stoked with that. And then we had a semi-authentic, but semi for YouTube audition to see who was going to join us. And we had some really fun with like trying to flesh out this whole day of commentary, and it's all led to today. So it's actually been a pretty fun process. And then when we were trying to think about how we're going to package this together with what we've captured over the last couple of weeks in the lead up and what we're hoping to capture today, we thought we'd go more of that kind of narrative storytelling route and explain the journey, how we got there, and then really have fun on the day when we're down commentating the game. So
it shouldn't look like a vlog.
It's shot like a vlog, but it doesn't feel.
It shouldn't feel like a vlog. It should feel like an adventure, some voiceover, tying things together. The race to prepare, the race to get down, picking people's brains across the industry of how to commentate. We get down there on the day. We're going today. Just putting together a broadcast essentially by creators for creators. I don't know. I'm really excited. So big thanks to the D's who have given us a chop out and. That video, I reckon that'll come in a couple of weeks. Are you planning, little industry chat here, are you going to go Guess Who commentary the next week, or are you going to give yourself 2 weeks after Guess Who?
Well, I want...
we got the calendar, don't we?
I think we planned... Oh, no, well, it was going to be, but the season predictions was actually meant to go out after Guess Who. And you...
I've just gone ham
you popped your cherry early.
Gone ham.
Don't know if that's the industry lingo.
So 7 next week, either before or after the pod.
It would probably have to be...
Commentary, we got the 12th.
Yeah, because the season predictions were meant to go out Tuesday the 3rd. Anyway, let's not say dates because this means nothing to anyone. Well, I don't know. It will either go out, if it goes out the following week to Guess Who, it will be on the same day as the AFL launch.
Yeah. I reckon give it a week.
Yeah.
Because that'll be round 1. That'll be so much fun. And then I've got I'll do a filler video.
I also think the first opening round of AFL, there's probably enough excitement on that Thursday night for people to just watch the football. So
I reckon Guess Who next week. The following week, I'll create a filler on the rocket ship that'll take off while I edit. And then the week after that, the commentary.
Yep. We need to get you a computer that works.
Yeah.
The other one, his previous computer shut the bed, by the way. If you guys are wondering why, big YouTuber, Caden McDonald, he had a laptop, a nice laptop, and it literally capitulated.
A very expensive laptop that has had a fault that they've never seen before, and the insurance does, it's just fucked.
It gave in like the Italians in the Second World War.
Northy.
Don't know why.
Northy. I need a... No.
Northy, get your whole family subscribed, mate. We need a computer.
All right, well, that wraps up the Dospod Mini because we're off to Casey Fields. Literally probably should have gone 10 minutes ago. Dan the man, thanks for hopping on the pod.
Thank you.
And we'll speak to you guys in a couple of weeks because we've got a guest ep next week, which I'm really excited by. It's a big guest. It's a huge guest. So keen to bring that out. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting the content, and we'll see you for some more content very soon.
Ooh, fell over at the finish line.
Oh, dearie.